So, after the very questionable San Andreas Mercenaries update came out, it started to make me worried about what the future of both GTA 5 could be and potentially how it would affect GTA 6. And I thought, why not do a list about what I do and do not want in the new GTA 5 update, which, will arrive sometime later this year because Rockstar just can't get enough of themselves, and GTA 6 in general. However, that idea was kind of stupid and GTA 5 is a lost cause anyway, so I scrapped that original idea and I just focused on what I'd want in GTA 6. So let's get right into the video, man. Right, this is an obvious one to start off with. I want the map to be huge, mate, and I don't just mean in scale, but also in the amount of enterable buildings there are. Something I found disappointing about GTA 5 was that there were not as many enterable buildings as I would have liked. Sure, the buildings you could enter had a lot going on in them, but it would have been nice if there was a shopping mall or a school. Well, actually, no, maybe not that last one. But some more random locations that didn't have much significance to the story, but were just fun to explore. Like an airport would be real fun if you could just enter it and mess around with your friends. This also gives more opportunity to make some cool adversary modes like death matches and stuff like that. Another thing I don't like so much about the GTA 5 map is the amount of space that is taken up by hills and mountains, because it removes the available amount of play area. Sure, you could argue that you could still play there anyway. What are you talking about? Sure, some hills or mountains would be cool, but not if it takes up more than half of the map. If GTA 6's map is based on Miami and other bits of Florida, then there might not be much, if not any mountains at all. So it allows the map to be more flat and give more opportunities for buildings or whatever random crap Rockstar plan on adding in. Hopefully not a bloody shotgun factory. Something that is definitely going to be in the game are the wild and pretty interesting Everglades, which when I last looked was pretty flat to me. It also would be somewhat new to the GTA series to get that type of swampy environment with animals like alligators and pythons, so that would be pretty interesting too. But still, I'd rather have less water and crap in the way and just have a lot of land to play on. This leads to my next point, which is that there has to be more than one city in GTA 6. Because if people only hang out in Vice City the whole time and don't really go anywhere else, like how the majority of players hang out in Los Santos rather than Blaine County in GTA 5, they will make the map and the game as a whole a bit boring. Because, no one ever explores it, and if you just hang around the same area, then it will get repetitive. By the way, when I say more than one city, I don't mean whole new maps added on. I mean cities that are connected by streets and roads. Although more than one map would be pretty cool, I shouldn't get my hopes up because it's, Rockstar Games. They're the type of company that would drip feed new maps every 10 years or so, because, why the hell not? I'm not really the type of person who thinks the GTA 4 driving physics are superior to any other game in the franchise. I think it's cool and looks realistic, but every car feels the same, and don't even get me started with that motorcycle physics, man. The best physics would be 90% GTA 5 vehicle physics and then 10% GTA 4 vehicle physics combined. From what I saw in the leaked footage, it seems like the physics have definitely upgraded and are realistic. Speaking of upgrades and realism, the ragdoll physics and shooting mechanics look real sexy. Make me feel like a real bad man. That is one thing that I do like in GTA 4 more than 5, is that the ragdoll physics are more real. Like if you shoot someone in the leg, they don't just die. They limp a bit and they move back, and if it's the police, other officers will come and help that person. And so when I saw that in the leaked footage, I was very pleasantly surprised. I almost forgot to mention this as well, but there was a clip of someone driving and they hit a part of the bridge and then the car fell off. And you can't really see much of the front of the car, but from what I could tell, the vehicle damage physics have really improved. Or at least more like the GTA 4 physics. Because in GTA 5 it was like throwing a brick at a wall. I mean, barely any damage at all. And I thought, the immersion was not great when that happened. So it's a good thing that it's here in GTA 6. Well, at least in this early build of it. Which I'm hoping it's in the real thing as well, man. Now, Police in GTA 5, they're kind of retarded, if you don't mind me saying. But, if you've played the game, you'll know what I mean. You do something very minor and bam, they pull out their pistols or ARs or whatever and they start shooting you immediately. Like if you steal a car and manage to avoid like all the NPCs, like you don't even run them over, doesn't matter, you're gonna get shot real bad. Doesn't matter how long it takes, they're gonna get you and you're gonna end up underground, mate. Because that's just how intelligent the GTA 5 police are. But what I did notice in the footage is that the police take their time. They don't immediately shoot. They try and figure out what's going on before they start actually shooting you down, which is a very good thing. So well done, Rockstar. Also, something that needs to be improved, which I noticed in GTA 5, is that the story mode, the police and the NPCs behave differently than they do in multiplayer, and I think there's a reason why that is. It's easier to script it for story mode. But let's say you have loads of police chasing after you in like a car vehicle chase, then they will put up more blockages and it'll be more AI trying to go against you and it feels more real, whereas in multiplayer you don't really get that as much, and they need to bring that back for 6 and make sure that it's both in the story and multiplayer. And also, when you're in a shootout with mercenaries, before you get into a shootout, I want it so that even if you approach one person and shoot them, not everyone else gets immediately alerted, because that's like lame. And also I want more variety, like if you have to go to a certain compound, there's maybe a sniper that you have to shoot first before you can actually go to the foot soldiers at the front. And more variety like that. I think that would be special and, really make the game feel more intense, because you have to focus on more than one person or more than one NPC at a time. So yeah. When GTA 5 first came out, it was revolutionary for many reasons. The AI was different, the story was different, the type of storytelling was different. But what I think a lot of people noticed first about the game was how graphically improved it was. In general, in 2013, not many games looked like that, looked that good, with so much detail and textures that looked so cool and the weather that looked so real. And GTA 6 definitely needs to have that same effect, where it's revolutionary in its graphics and the way it looks. I mean, the whole jump from GTA 5 to Red Dead 2 was crazy. It was a huge jump. And I believe they'll do the same thing from Red Dead 2. They'll build upon it and make it better and improve it for GTA 6. In my opinion, the graphics can be great, but if the textures are crap, then, the game won't look right. And I'm pretty certain Rockstar have kept a close eye on what mods people have been downloading on GTA 5. I think the textures are improved, higher quality, and they look more realistic. And from what I see in the footage, Rockstar are definitely improving on that. And obviously, because there are the newer consoles, newer systems, Rockstar had the ability to add those features, add those details that weren't in the previous games in the franchise. And actually, I forgot to mention this in the physics bit, but I want parts of the map to change depending on whatever the player does, like if they shoot at a wall or drive into a tree or something, or even the weather. If it was a storm, then it would flood. I want those things to actually affect the environment. I want to see trees falling on cars, cars being smashed. I want to see those effects put onto the environment. I just think it'll be a really, really cool feature. And if it's not in the game, I'll be a little disappointed, but I do think this will be implemented in some capacity, to some level. Maybe if it's not 100% the way that I described it, it doesn't really, it does kind of matter, but at least if it's there and they put in the effort and the detail, then, mate, I'll be well happy with that. Now, let's talk about the multiplayer. Now, one thing that definitely needs to be a thing should be cross-platform play. If you have mates on Xbox and you play on PlayStation, then you should be able to go into a lobby and play together. And also, the amount of people who can be in a lobby should be improved as well. Especially if the map is bigger, there has to be a larger amount of players that are able to join a session. That's just one of the many things that need to be improved. Number 2, What's up with all these futuristic cars and vehicles and weapons that are like one-shot kill? It's, it gets boring, and if people just buy shark cards, then they're obviously gonna have an advantage over people who don't want to do shark cards. They need to make it more real. They need to use more military vehicles that are real. Introduce more jets. If the map's bigger, then you can have more available space for aircraft to fly through. And also the jets will be quicker because there's more map to fly across now, rather than in GTA 5 where they had to slow down some of the jets because of how small the map was. And third, I want more creative missions and missions that pay well. Not this crap where you get 100 grand and then make us pay 2 mil for a car or 500 grand for a gun. That's ridiculous. They need to give more fun missions that also you can play by yourself, like Cayo Perico, because having to rely on other people isn't always an option, and playing with random people some of the time is pretty difficult and annoying. So having missions that pay well and you can play with yourself or with one other person or with a group, make it so you have these options, so you have more than one option. Because with GTA 5, the best way of making money is just to rinse and repeat Cayo Perico, and that gets boring real quick and people start to complain and not care for the game, so they have to change that as well. Have you ever driven around the streets of Los Santos and ever looked at some of the mansions and the buildings and thought, oh, that would be a nice place to buy? And then you go over and realize that no, you cannot do that. Now, I understand this isn't required and this isn't something that's totally game breaking if it's not in it, but I think it would make more sense. If you're able to make millions of dollars, you should be able to have more accessibility to purchasable buildings or mansions or whatever you want to call them, because the apartments are cool, but like they're just apartments, whereas with the mansions you can maybe have missions that you can only access if you have a mansion. And also it'd be cool because then you could have your garage, weapon locker and all these things in one building, rather than buying an apartment, a separate garage, and maybe having to go to the gun store. If you buy the mansion and spend loads of money, maybe you just have all of it together. That could be part of the package, part of the deal, if you will. So I think that would be more interesting if you're able to purchase more buildings and you can use them to your advantage. There is a slight issue though, because if you just buy it with shark cards, then it's not really the same. But I think, like I said, this isn't the most important thing in the world. This doesn't have to be in the game, but I think it would be good for players that really want to put in time into the game and, want to spend their money on something other than vehicles. Another thing that GTA 6 should improve on from GTA 5 and all the other GTAs is the amount of detail that you can change within the vehicles. Because within Benny's, you can change a lot of stuff. The way the seats look, what materials on the seats, the whole style of the car can be changed to like a retro version. And I think stuff like that needs to be implemented and added onto, but not just for Benny's or whatever the company will be in the new game, but to every vehicle. Like, you should be able to engine swap if you really want to. Don't make it free, make it so you kind of have to pay for parts, but make it so you can have more custom bumpers or custom spoilers, or have thicker tires or thinner tires and change the wheel size, and small details like that should be implemented. And with the engine swap thing, what I mean by don't make it free is that maybe players should be able to meet at a sort of car dealership, like the LS car meet, where you can buy and sell cars from each other or buy and sell parts from each other. And I think that's a cool way of interacting with other players, and also you can find new things for your vehicles and make people more invested in the game, want to play it more, want to do more things to their cars, customize it. And it makes people maybe want to buy shark cards. And I know that's what Rockstar really want people to do, is spend money on their shark cards. So I think that would be a cool idea. And engine swaps, like I said, if there's a cheap car, isn't really fast or doesn't have the best handling, then you should be able to change the engine or whatever is necessary to change the handling and make it feel better. Make it like the car you want. And then if you have that selling and buying feature that I mentioned before, then someone could buy your customized version of that car rather than having to do the whole process yourself. And this also leads to clothes and weapons and, just customization in general. And I think similarly with the cars, with the guns, you can buy gun parts or certain attachments and use them for your guns. And with clothes, I want just more options, not what is pre-chosen by Rockstar. And actually, back to the point with cars, you should be able to make your own livery by now, because a lot of the liveries can look cool, but sometimes there's just not a right livery for a car. And for me, if a car doesn't have the right livery that I actually like, then it's a complete deal breaker. I'll sell the car and probably never use it again. But you should understand what I mean. You should be able to make your own, and also make it so people online can use your liveries, custom liveries, a bit like Forza, how they do it. Also, before I forget, your character should be able to have more hairstyles, not just whatever Rockstar wants you to have. Because some of the hairstyles you'd like, but there's some weird feature of it that looks a bit gross, and then you're not able to use the hairstyle. And also beards. Why are there no 3D beards, man? I mean, I know in the store you can do that, but in online you can't do that. I find that a little annoying. And also, if gyms are in the game, you should be able to do something similar to San Andreas, where you can either bulk up or get really fat. But don't make it like a real life simulator. Make it so like if you want your character to work out, then maybe do some type of gym session in the game, and then not need to do it like all the time, because then it would get repetitive and a bit boring. But you know what I mean, so that your character, if you want them to look big, make them look big. If you want them to look skinny, make them look skinny. If you want them to be fat, then make them look fat, because why not? And one last thing that they have to get right, otherwise I won't buy the game. The radio has to be perfect. If the radio is not perfect, then I don't know, mate. I'll probably sell the game. I'll sell my console. I'll sell my life. I'll sell everything, mate. If the radio isn't right, 0 out of 10. Won't recommend. Won't even buy it, mate. Won't even look at it. Don't like this video. I'll delete it, mate, if the radio's crap. I'll never forgive it. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. Do you agree with any of my ideas, or do you disagree with anything? Or if you have a whole new idea or suggestion that should be in the game, then put it in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel to help support me, and turn on the notification bell so you're always notified. Share this video so Rockstar might add something that they decided not to add before, or share it just because you think the video is cool. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you very, very soon. Peace.